He was forgotten in the shadows of deep time. A predator so powerful, so distinct, that its very name still carries weight today. The direwolf. A beast that once stalked the ancient landscapes of North America. For over 10,000 years, it was nothing more than bones buried in tar pits, a memory captured in fossilized remains, and myth. But in the spring of 2025, science did the unthinkable. The direwolf returned in a groundbreaking announcement. Colossal Biosciences, an American biotech company known for its audacious mission to revive extinct species, revealed the successful birth of 3 genetically engineered pups. These creatures are not ordinary wolves. They are the product of years of genetic research, ancient DNA extraction, and precise gene editing. And they carry in their bodies the legacy of the direwolf, a species thought to be lost forever. But to understand how extraordinary this is, we must go back to the beginning. The direwolf, Canis dirus, was one of the top predators of the Pleistocene. Larger and more muscular than the modern gray wolf, it had massive jaws capable of crushing bone. It lived in packs, hunted giant prey like bison and horses, and roamed from the frozen tundras of Canada to the swamps of Florida. Unlike the wolves we know today, the direwolf wasn't closely related to dogs or modern wolves. In fact, a 2021 genetic study stunned the scientific world by revealing that the direwolf belonged to an entirely separate branch of the canine family tree. It had evolved in isolation in the Americas for millions of years. This discovery changed everything. When researchers analyzed ancient DNA extracted from direwolf fossils, they found that the animal had diverged from other canids nearly 6 million years ago. That meant they weren't just bigger wolves. They were something else entirely. This revelation made cloning them impossible with traditional methods. Because you can bring back a creature if there is no living relative close enough to host its DNA. So, scientists got creative. Instead of cloning, they used a process known as genetic proxy engineering. First, they identified specific genes in the direwolf genome, traits responsible for its size, skull shape, jaw strength, and even aspects of its behavior. Then, using cutting-edge CRISPR technology, they began inserting these ancient genes into the embryos of gray wolves. The embryos were implanted into surrogate mothers, and after months of careful monitoring, the first genetically modified pups were born in a high-security lab in Texas. 3 pups? 3 lives that bridge a gap of thousands of years. They may not be 100% dire wolves. No one claims that. But they are the closest living beings to that long-extinct predator. Their behavior, their physiology, and their genetic code all point to something entirely new. Something ancient, reborn. But not everyone is celebrating. The project has sparked controversy across the scientific and ethical spectrum. Critics warn that reviving extinct species, especially predators, could pose significant risks. How will these animals behave as they grow? Will they be able to survive outside the lab? And if they are ever released into the wild, what impact could they have on modern ecosystems that no longer have a place for them? There are also moral questions. Are we resurrecting these creatures out of scientific curiosity or human vanity? And just because we can bring something back, does it mean we should? Supporters argue that de-extinction offers a way to restore lost biodiversity and repair some of the damage caused by human activity. After all, many species, including the direwolf, disappeared due to climate shifts and competition exacerbated by early human expansion. Could bringing them back help rebalance the natural world? Or will it only create new, unforeseen problems? Inside the lab, the pups grow stronger by the day. Their eyes are sharp, their movements calculated, their instincts primal. Researchers are cautiously optimistic. They study the animals' behaviors, test their cognition, monitor their health. Every heartbeat, every breath is data. What was once just bone and dust, a name in a textbook, is now breathing, walking, learning. The direwolf has returned, not as a ghost or a story, but as a living organism forged through science, persistence, and imagination. And as the world watches, one question echoes louder than all the rest. What else might we bring back? This is not just a story about the past. It is a warning, And a promise. The age of extinction may be over. The age of resurrection has just begun.